Right, this is actually going to be a very interesting video to edit purely because I'm so interested to see how my own mindset's changed over time from here when I got a little skinny pack, from when I didn't even care about the gym. The good days, say the good days, man was not looking good as you can see. But yeah, here I was like maybe 15 or so. But this was then before the stage where it got a bit crazy, a little bit obsessive. This is when gym was like everything to me. Waking up, how many eggs to eat today, how much weight's being lifted today. Got a bit crazy, got a bit obsessive, and then I thought to myself, do you know what, I'm big and I don't really like it. So this is where I kind of went to now, and this is where I was like, do you know what, man wants to feel like an athlete again, used to run about, all that stuff, can't do that anymore. So here is where I started getting lean. But like I said, this is a transformation video, so let me take you right back and go through all of this together. So, oh wait, introduction, one sec. Yes, people, what we're saying, so like I said, I'm going to start this all the way back in 2014. This is when I was like 14, 15 years old. And at that age, I don't really think many of my boys, I don't think many people were at all into the gym. I feel like everyone had their own sport. And my sport was football. So with it being football, I was expending so much energy. I was training like 4, 5, 6 times a week. So obviously, the even possibility of putting mass on back then, I think, is near to none, to say the least. But I think it comes to a point in 2014 where I looked at this very picture here. This is me in Saloon 2015, right at the start. I remember my mum taking that picture, and I kind of looked at it and I was like, do you know what? I need to kind of do something about this. I didn't want to be that tall, skinny guy in school. Like, I looked at tall, skinny people, and there's nothing against it, but I was just like, I actually want to put on some size. I want to see where I can go with this. And I remember stepping into the gym as a little 15-year-old boy and just signing the contract and going into the mirror, and I took this very picture here. I remember looking at the picture thinking, okay, like obviously man's got a long way to go, but I was excited for the journey. I feel like as a kid, like when you sign a new football team, with anything, you're started start the journey, and it was the same with this. I was just so excited to get involved and see exactly where I could take this. Alright, so by this point, obviously I signed up to a gym membership and man was in the gym doing his thing. But I feel like when you're younger, everything is so different. In fact, it's not even when you're younger, it's just when you start something new. So I remember looking at this video and actually thinking to myself like, yo, man actually looks kind of good. Like, man actually looks decent in this. But I think that's the same with anything. When you get excited or something, when you start, you're looking at yourself like, yeah, this is actually decent, it's going somewhere straight away. Until you look at it years down the line and go, oh my god, like, what was I thinking, kind of thing. But anyway, this is the first picture I remember putting on Instagram. As you can see, the little caption, few months progress with a little bear print. I have no clue why that bear print is there. To this day, I'm still questioning my little self back then. But anyway, yeah, I looked at this picture and I was like, do you know what? I thought I had a good foundation. Like, as you can see, it is quite ripped, it's defined, but as I said, I did have that skinny boy rip look anyway. So I kind of just trained the way that people actually told me to train. And now, these people, the advice that they gave me back then probably wasn't even the best advice. It wasn't professional advice, I can tell you that. It was literally a few boys that was older than me. They had a bit of size and I was like, hey, what are you saying? How do I get like you? It was kind of that situation. I'm sure everyone can relate to it. But yeah, it did get to the point where I remember going out on my birthday and rolling up my sleeves on my new Lacoste top and thinking like, do you know what? Yeah, man's getting serious gains. As you can see, man did not have nearly serious gains. Right, so I remember this video in 2015. This was like one of the last videos I had in the leisure centre gym. And I remember looking at it thinking, do you know what? Like, compared to the other video before, right at the start, man has actually made decent progress. And I think when you see progress and when you see results, that is a start of any motivation. So I feel like from here, this sparked crazy motivation. And I was training every single day without a doubt. And for me, this was my year of making like my first set of serious gains. Right, so I feel like everyone must have had that first day in the new gym excitement. I remember this picture was the first day into Pure Gym, and it was like my first actual commercial gym. I was looking around, these people in here were wham. I remember thinking, yo, these people are absolutely massive. I feel like that's just because the gym I went to before was a leisure centre. It was kind of suited to the more elderly, and this one was actually people wanting to make serious gains. But with anything, I feel like this also helps so much because it's all about who you surround yourself by. Like if you surround yourself by people that have this goal of getting absolutely massive, then more time these are going to be able to obviously give you advice. But if you're staying in a leisure centre with people that are actually just doing it for their general health and well-being, then they're going to have nothing to advise you on. This beautiful building here was for me where true gains were well and truly made. So around 3 months into training here, obviously I'm surrounding myself with the boys that I need to be. We've all got a mission to get absolutely massive. I feel like back then bigger is better was 100% my mindset. And so I remember taking this picture and thinking like, do you know what, okay, this is actually going somewhere. Like as you can see, the arms looking decent, they're nice and vasculine, the chest is looking alright as well. It's getting a little bit of size on that. At the time, legs wasn't even close to being in the equation. But I feel like at that age, no one's really on training legs anyway. You had the excitement of starting the gym first of all, and everyone was just like, oh my god, how quick can I get my biceps, triceps, my chest and my abs? That literally was the main focus for absolutely everyone. And you did not want to be losing in that race. Everyone was in that race together. But yeah, this picture here was when I started actually taking Instagram more seriously. I remember like social media was on the rise, Instagram was now becoming a thing, and because it becoming a thing, I feel like that pressure of trying to get bigger even quicker was 100% a factor in terms of how good this year of training was for me. Like at the end of the day, everyone was in this rat race my age to get bigger. That was literally the main focus for all the boys, and I think Instagram, even now to this day, has the effect on motivating some people in some ways. But then also Instagram has the power nowadays to put too much pressure on certain situations, but I think it literally is dependent on the person. For me at the time, Instagram was a platform I was happy to put myself out there, and Instagram was a platform that I wanted to prove myself on. Right, with Instagram on the rise also, this gave me a massive opportunity to actually build a circle of role models that I wanted to work towards and physiques that I looked at and generally admired. So we're talking boys like Simeon Panda and even David Lay. So as you can see, these boys are big. So that just shows my mindset at the time was I wanted to get as big as I possibly could. And at the time, when you have that mindset, you literally are going to be so tunnel focused. I like to say tunnel focus is in like, I know exactly what I wanted and I was doing every single thing I could to make it my main priority. And to be honest, it was taking over everything. But I feel like that's just normal. When you've actually got a passion for something and there is an end goal, you are going to actually put everything in the way. As I did at that age, I was like 17, 18 at this point, to honestly just get everything I wanted to achieve. Okay, so now when I've been training consistently for about a year and a half, I did start to realise that fitness was going to 100% be my main passion. I did it every single day and I couldn't imagine doing anything else, which is why I decided to go to this university here. I studied sport and exercise science at Leeds University. And I'll tell you now, when you go to university, the whole situation completely changed, because I've gone from being in Loughborough, a small town, being dead into a gym and people just knowing me as that general fitness guy, I absolutely loved it, to go into university and specialising in a course which is very much related to gym, and landed me in a group of boys which were far bigger than me. So obviously I've been in my town thinking, oh yeah, I got this and all that. Go to university and now I'm a small fish in a massive pond of people that firstly are so knowledgeable in everything fitness, and physique wise you can see they're a lot more enhanced than me, because when you go to uni everyone isn't your age, and even so the boys that were my age, some of them were in better shape than me, which honestly was the complete motivation. And I think it kind of refreshed my mindset, because after a while where you start getting comfortable, when you think you are in good shape, it becomes so easily to get leveled off. Like for me, I'll say that now, being comfortable is a man's worst enemy, because you start to get that mindset where you think, oh my god, I've made it, I've progressed, I'm kind of getting towards the top. And then you put yourself in a situation like I did at uni, and it kind of opens up your eyes and go, oh my god, nah, I ain't nearly where I want to be. So yeah, I 100% feel like this was the second spark of motivation that I 100% needed. And from here, training was better than ever. I literally was in a crazy workout regime where I was training 7 days a week. I was doing the push-pull leg split, rotating and literally not even having a rest day. I think when I was at uni, I literally did abs or I did something on rest day. But one key thing which I never did, and now looking back at it, is honestly crazy, is I never did any cardio. In my eyes, cardio was just a way of losing muscle. And now it's crazy thinking about it, because now I've actually got more knowledge on complete general health, exercise and nutrition. I know that cardio is going to be actually so effective when it comes to your actual health and well-being altogether. Like, obviously it's so good lifting weights and all that stuff, but if you're doing all that and you're not actually putting any cardio in itself, you're missing out on the most important muscle of your whole entire body. Yes, you got it, your heart. Yes, obviously your heart is a muscle. But at the time, I was so oblivious to the situation. I was just so focused on bigger is better because I was surrounded by them boys that were just on that vibe as well. Alright, so with the vibe, bigger is better becomes a obsession, I would say, of just lifting pure heavy. It was coming to the point where I would spend sessions on sessions just trying to hit a new PB, and the goal was literally just to lift as much weight as I possibly could. And with that come a lot of good things that I actually aimed towards. Obviously, Simeon Panda was so thick in his physique, as you can see, and this was something that I was trying to resemble, and obviously hitting low reps over time in heavyweight was actually getting me towards this goal now. But the thing about this is now when I actually put together the efficiency of hitting 1 rep maxes in a session compared to the productivity of hitting a 1 rep max in a session, for me now I look at it as a bit of a waste of time unless obviously I am in competition. But at the time, let me tell you this now, ego gets way ahead of the game. Ego goes in front of any knowledge you have. I knew at the time that obviously 1 rep max was just going to burn me out for a whole session, but the ego inside of me wanted to lift heavy weights, and I feel like a lot of people were on that vibe as well. And like I said, I was in that rat race of lifting heavy with these boys, and this is literally what I wanted to maintain. Everyone wanted to be the strongest, everyone wanted to be the biggest, and at the time 1 rep maxes were the way forward in achieving that. With this new training style that I started to adapt, obviously come a new physique that started to adapt as well, and that really was the physique that now I look back on and I kind of do not like at all. But at the time, I absolutely loved it. I was literally vibing, I was trying to just do my thing, lift more, get bigger. So obviously this just goes to show that over time, obviously my mindset did change completely in terms of actually like the physique that I wanted in the gym. Like even now to this day, my physique's changing, and it's kind of just dependent on what you want at that time. Like you're never going to be at a point where you think, oh my god, this is literally me done. I am literally so satisfied. Whether you want to get lean, if you get lean, you want to get leaner. Whether you want to get massive, when you get big, you want to get bigger. There's always going to be something to chase. And at the time, my chase was getting as big as possible. Alright, so this video here was when I actually thought about taking gym very seriously. I kind of was so happy with the foundation that I built for myself, and it swayed me to go into a career which was more focused on general lifestyle and fitness. Yeah, I was at uni, I was absolutely loving it, but I started to question whether the uni lifestyle was actually for me. I got into a lot of partying habits, I'm not gonna lie, that stuff got a little bit crazy. So I actually swayed away from uni and I did start a new business venture, which was a food prep business called Fueled. So this venture with my boy was essentially getting meal prep meals, breaking down the macros for athletes and people like myself who have a specific macronutrient intake that they need to hit on a daily. Right, if anything, this motivated me even more to get even bigger. I had a prep business where I could actually get the food myself from my own business. So I literally, diet was so on top at this point in my life. Diet was so on top. And at this time also, I was training to become a level 3 personal trainer. And as I started getting into level 3 personal training, I would say this picture right here was 100% when I was at my thickest. This is where man felt at his absolute prime. I had a food prep business going, I just got into personal training, and my mindset still was the bigger I am, the more clients I'm going to get. The bigger I am, it looks better for the business. I want to be a good business representation. So obviously that was the goal, and that was the goal for an absolute minute. Until the biggest thing happened for me, which honestly flipped my physique on its absolute head, and everything I was working towards kind of had to be adjusted in so many ways. That is because I got involved in this thing called modeling. So stepping into a new industry honestly was just so confusing, because I started to realize that this whole bigger is better physique did not actually happen in the modeling industry. I sent my model cards over to all these clients and I kept getting the same feedback, which was, this kid is a little bit too big, he's not going to fit in the clothes. The standard thing obviously you're going to hear when you get a bodybuilder and send him to an agency and try and fit him in medium clothes. It is not going to work. The two did not actually fit. So this is where I had the biggest decision on my hands, and this is kind of where I decided that I did want to pursue modeling. It was something interesting and I'd never really thought about getting involved with it, but the industry was very tempting. I knew that the money was good and I knew that it was going to be something that I love doing. I'm a people person, I like traveling, and all of these things come with the job. So now the decision that had been made, I knew the next step was to kind of ask the clients, can you give me examples? How do I need to look? What models are doing well? And kind of giving me guidelines in the style and physique that I needed to actually get involved in. Okay, so once I did this, I knew I had to make two important changes. First to my training and secondly to my diet. Right guys, this is a little insight of the kind of portion sizes I was having on a daily. Now look back at it, it is absolutely crazy. Like, man was smashing calories down. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. And I think it's safe to say now my diet is literally halved in macros. I think at one point I was easily consuming every single day like near 4,000 calories on a standard procedure. Like, it was actually mad. Okay, so the first big client that I had for me was honestly surreal. I've been training now for a solid 4 years. I literally always looked on Gymshark because I actually wanted to buy a lot of the gear, but a lot of it for me was at my price range. Obviously, I was a student. Man couldn't be flashing out like 40, 50 pounds on joggers. But Gymshark actually approached me. They wanted me to model for them, and this was the first shoot I ever did for them. So as you can see, let's compare this picture to the picture when I was in my peak, when I was doing PT. Obviously, this is literally in between the space of 3 months, and the shape, the difference in the two is actually insane. But from here, honestly, it sparked my mindset and made me realize that this whole bigger is better situation I was in before was not even what I was about anymore. The physique here, when I was doing Gymshark, was so much better in my eyes, and I actually started to realize that I looked more like an athlete, less like a bodybuilder, and it kind of just looked more attractive for me. I looked healthier, I felt healthier, and I was so much more mobile. So I knew from here, this was the kind of shape that I wanted to progress towards. So from here as well, I feel like it honestly just gave me a proper motivation to have a drive towards getting something else. Obviously, my drive before was trying to get absolutely tonk, and now I wanted to test myself and really see how shredded I could generally get. So one of the main things that I put in place and actually changed was my training completely changed. Like, obviously, I went from just lifting heavy, as you can see. Man was hitting these PB deadlifts and all of that situation at least a few times a week, to essentially putting aside the weights and doing a lot of body weight work, some weight stuff here and there just to work the externals, like the biceps, triceps, shoulders, obviously the calf and stuff like that. But my majority of the training was down to a lot of body weight stuff. So it kind of made training a little bit easier in some aspects as well. Like, I could train when I was working away. With modeling, you have got to work away a lot. So that kind of pressure of always having to find a gym slowly vanished as I started to do more bodyweight stuff. And honestly, I started to love training more than ever. I feel like when you actually get into a training regime and you're sticking to the same routine for a while, it gets so tedious. And with bodyweight, the push-pull legs over and over again, I was on that split for a solid 3 years. So to honestly have a new goal and a new focus, for me, it was generally like starting the gym again. And I was so excited to see where this new style of training would actually take me. As you can see through all of these videos I've just gone through, this has kind of been my progression and me slowly getting even more shredded up to this latest video here. This video was taken about 3 weeks ago, and also I did weigh myself here. I actually weighed 77 kg, which is probably the lightest I've been in so long. It's actually mad that I've actually weighing 77 kg. Like, oh my days, like, oh my god. But yeah, anyway, from here, I mean, like I said, people, at the start, my mindset has always changed in training. My goals always changed, and to be honest, the focus always changed as well. I think it's so important to actually be able to adjust your mindset and actually reach for new goals as well, because after a while, when you're always wanting to hit the same goals, it gets so tedious. And I feel like in a lot of cases, the end is never in sight, purely because satisfaction is near to none when you're actually training, because like, you always get to a point, and then like I said before, you want to get bigger, you want to get bigger, you want to get leaner, you want to get leaner, and you're never going to be to a point where you have actually looked at yourself and gone, oh my god, I'm done now, I can literally maintain this. But yeah, people, that is my whole transformation. I think something really important I want to get out there, and as you can see from my transformation, is, do you know what? Your mindset has not always got to be focused on one thing. Your mindset's not always got to be focused on one goal. You haven't got to always head in the same direction. Guys, your goals can be so multifunctional, multi-directional. Like, you can decide exactly what you want at any period of time. Like, don't think for a second that before, because you wanted to get so big, you've always got to try and get so big. And before, when you wanted to get really lean, you've got to keep trying to get really lean. Think and question, why are you trying to get to that position you're wanting to be in? Is it to satisfy other people? Is it to satisfy yourself? Is it for work? Because at the end of the day, the main thing is that big, important three letters, you. You are the purpose, and you are always going to be and always should be in control to the achievements which you're setting out, the goals that you want to reach, the ambitions that you want to hit. So don't ever forget that, and always question, why are you working towards this specific goal? Because your goals are going to change, your mindset's going to change. And when it does, don't be scared and don't question why it's going to be changed. Just accept that that is why your current mindset is the way it is. People, do me a favor, have yourself a blessed day, have yourself a blessed week, a blessed year, and all that stuff. Put the work in, let's get it, good vibes only, love.